Welcome back, folks, to Farm Sim 2022 here on Drentsevaart. I believe that's what it's called. Let's kick a tire and get started. Want you guys to notice, top right of the screen, I haven't bought nothing. I just advanced into November, and you can see we've lost about $300. That is the maintenance fee on our land. So if we're going to lose $600 every month, we're going to have to figure out a few ways to counter that. We've started off here with a cultivation contract while I talk to you guys. It's a small one. It's only going to give us about $1,000. And that brings me up to a good point that we need to talk about early in this episode. We need to set our goals for this series. And no, I'm not talking long-term goals. We already talked about wanting to do every crop, everything, every animal. We're going to do that. But what I'm saying is we need to set our short-term goals. And it's super important. I do this in every game I play, and particularly probably more than other people. In fact, right here, you can hear it. That's my notebook. I got 3 notebooks. One of them pretty much for I kind of a stretch of all the games, and then I got a couple dedicated only to certain games. Like, for example, I got one dedicated to Fishing Planet, just to help remember all the stuff I need to remember on there. But with that being said, so let's talk about our short-term goals. We have some interesting things coming up, guys. We're getting ready to end our first year. We're in November. So some of the big ways for us to make money are going to go away here very shortly, within an episode or two. Once you get into December, you can't do baling contracts. There's going to be no harvesting contracts. And we got to make sure we can make money as we keep going through the winter in the next year. And there's a few ways to go about that. Obviously, you can see I'm doing, let's get an autosave in there because it wouldn't be Farm Sim without a perfectly timed autosave. So we're going to lose a lot of baling contracts pretty soon here. But one of the things that's going to stick around is fertilizing, which we may try to get into this episode. We're going to lose harvesting, but there's going to be plowing and cultivating to do. But you can see right here that every time we do one of these, we're losing money to not having our own equipment. So there's 2 things that we could do here to really help us out for this over the winter stretch, because a lot of the contracts we may have to do, because of what is limited by field work, we may have to do quite a bit of cultivating, plowing, fertilizing. With that being said, that should, to help us out on that not have to use contract equipment, we could work on getting our own equipment to start making more money. We do have a tractor, although I would really like to get one with slightly more power to help us out. We could buy our own cultivator. That would help out quite a bit. And one of the things that I do want to mention is, because we do have precision farming, once we do get into our own land, which is another thing we want to do, short-term goals, we got a lot of them. I'm laying them out there so you guys know what they are. We're going to have to get, we'll go into here. I believe it's in miscellaneous. It is, one thing that's going to be pretty hard to buy in the beginning is our soil sample unit for precision farming, and we're going to have to do this. So we're going to have to really focus on making money. That's one of them annoying purchases we got to get, but precision farming's so much fun that we're really going to have to get into that guy. Also, earlier than normally in series, I just start with field work or logging. This series, we're going to do something a little different, I believe. I think we're going to try to get into animals as quickly as we can. I'm not sure which animals yet, so that will be something really cool. I kind of am leaning towards sheep, believe it or not. Not necessarily chicken or horses like a lot of people would do. I'm leaning towards sheep to get our sheep infrastructure going, or even dairy cows. Um, but yeah, and one other thing too, when we're talking about goals, if we find something on sale, and we'll check the sales here this month. Not, I mean, them are nice equipment, but not nothing we can afford. We need to keep an eye on sales. You can see we saved a lot of money on that forklift last episode. Um, and if we can keep, saving money in that fashion, and we can save 5 or 6 grand here or there, that really adds up over time. And one thing to mention about our maintenance costs, I'm probably gonna look at a way to offset it so we're not losing, as you can see, negative 245. We're trying to probably look at some way to offset that so we're not losing, because we have 2 days per month. That means we're losing probably $600 every month. So we might try to look at some way to offset that cost with some sort of small generator, which I definitely would recommend to just make sure you're not getting obliterated by that maintenance cost there. But now that we've laid our short-term goals down, I'm going to finish this contract and meet you back at the shop, folks. So with that being said, we're going to try to do 2 contracts today. I think 187 and or 181 and 178. If you look down at the bottom right, you can see them bale holders. I talked about how them are not very good and usable, so we're actually going to do these contracts, and we're going to borrow the items off of 177 or 178, and we're going to accept this off of here. And the reason for it is I want to show what I meant about that. I want to try to use every equipment as well. Now, what guy is that? That's a Kuhn 87. Let's see here, because we may be able to use our tractor for the first time ever. Oh, that's awesome. I've brought it over here, guys. So we're going to take this guy here, and we're going to get to use our tractor for the first time this episode on the tether. We have enough power, I think, to actually run this piece of equipment, and it will be cool. I know we could use their tractor, but why would do that when we could have fun? Oh, good. That's a good counterbalance weight. Perfect. I have it pegged, and this is all it wants to go. That's a lot of weight for this thing. Hopefully it can run it. So here we go. We're going to start mowing this up. I did a little bit here just to see where we were at the field. This is not a very large field. In fact, both of them kind of look like they're on the small side here. So for these 2 fields, we're using a different type of mower that you guys probably haven't seen before. This is actually what most people would call like a disc bind mower. Oh man, that's actually right up to the water too. And the beauty of it is smaller tractors can run these, especially the older versions of these, they could definitely do. And we're going to back up. I wanted to make sure I got to that edge. There we go. Just like that. And you're also not running over your hay while you do this. You can actually adjust them out. So once we get to the end here, I will in fact adjust it so you can see. You can make it come right behind you in mow, or you can put it way off to the side like that. Now the ones I have around me, a lot of them are real old, and I think we probably got a picture of a few of them in here. Let's see here. They would be under mowers, and most of the mowers that are around me are kind of this type of mower. This would be kind of a fancy mower where I live. They pretty much work pretty similar. Um, Obviously, a lot of older equipment on small little farms. Oh, I do not like driving over that field. Um, but in our series, we're going to have to use some older equipment when we first get started. We don't have the money to buy the big, huge, uh, cajillion dollar tractors and equipment. So we're going to need some older equipment ourselves here. All right, moment of truth. Can we actually work this tedder? It might be a little bit too big for this tractor. Horsepower wise, yeah, but moving it and running it are two different things. We'll see here. I did pull in a little bit from the edges just so that we could not get this, when you do hay, which is kind of a struggle on contracts, that's why I'm not always doing hay, is it kind of sprays it everywhere. But it looks like we can actually run this thing, guys. I don't know if we're running it at top speed, but we are running it. In fact, let's look at this one is let's see. Oh, okay. So it's an 8712. It can run at 9 miles an hour. Clearly, we're not able to run it at 9, I guess. But, so it does take a little bit more horsepower because I believe we do actually have 40 horse on this tractor. Oh, we have 38. Okay. That would make a little sense why we're struggling a little bit here, but it looks like we're going to be able to pull this off. I should lift this up. It should go a little easier if I... There we go. We'll get straight here, and you'll see here what I mean. It just throws that hay back, and I'm kind of not a fan of that. So I always take the rake around the edges of my field where I'm doing contract work. It's kind of annoying. I do stay a little bit away from hay work because of that. But I think, guys, we're going to do a little bit of a montage here now. We are going to change the bale size to as small as I can. Oh, there it is right there. And the reason we are is because it's a small field. If it was a big one, we'd be doing the biggest bales you could possibly do. But because these are small ones, if we have a, 8,500 liter bale and it's only 90% done, 98% done, we can't actually get that out, and we're not going to get the cash for it or the credit for doing it. So we definitely got to do the smallest bales we can to make sure we get credit for all of it. And I'll show you what we mean here in a minute. Now, as you can see, we're left with like 76% of a bale, and that kinda is disappointing. But I'm glad this was a little set on the little bales that way, because if it had been the big bales, we'd be losing out on a lot of money and or not being able to complete a contract. So now it's time to try out the bale loaders, and I can tell you, these are super frustrating. It's going to be a little bit easier because we did the little bales, but you're going to see it's still not going to be super easy. I guess this is a lot better when you do the little bales. When you do the big bales, it almost never goes in. So let's go ahead and grab this. And we got to remember, these I think are actually going to different locations. So let's go to our back one, unfold that. What do we have? Do we actually have 4? So for this job in particular, These bale loaders are not going to actually be the worst thing in the world because we'll only need to make. Oh, come on now. Let's try to straighten that out. Oh, all right. We will go right here, just like that. That one is good. Now I think, can we fold that front one up a little bit? Oh yeah, so we can travel. There we go. You can't actually do it with the big ones, but I think the littler bales definitely seem like they're working out a little bit. Oop, I wanted to get straighten that bale out. But you can see these are kind of just a pain in the butt. Especially we could have a trailer. Let's, oh, nope, wrong one. Lower the back. And you can see, there we go. We got all these up for 178. Now, over there, we got a lot more bales. And generally, when you use the bigger things, these are more of a pain in the butt. These work pretty good for what we were doing right now. But we still got to transport these across the map. Where did these ones got to go? We're in field 178. And they have to go to the sell everything container. You could see, though, if you had 50 trips, this would be a pain in the butt as well. Besides that, let's see. Can we lower it? Will it take them? Oh, it's okay. So before we sell that, we don't actually want to sell that bale. We want to make sure, because we don't have everything for 181. We have that half bale in the thing. We're going to be safe, and we're going to take it to the farmer's market, which is real quick. We can take a look right there. Oh, it's right next to us. Okay, so, wow, that's super handy. Although we got to go across over here. Should take it. Unfold. Are you just not going to take this bale? Or is it over here? It might, in fact, be over. Ah, there it was. All right, so they're both finished. So I'm just going to go grab the other bales and bring them up here. It'd probably be a few loads. And just to save a little bit of time, sake of taking 2 loads, I'm going to dump the last 2 bales right on top of that bale holder here. Hopefully that'll last all the way there. Kind of hard to see. Yep, kind of a pain. And to finish off the episode, let's completely collect them contracts. And we're at 15 grand. Not bad. A little bit longer episode, but we had a lot of important stuff in this episode. I'll see you next time. Have a good one, folks.